Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. Just saw the movie Dangal. Okay, this is another India movie, basically, I think historically based, about basically a man. Let me stop saying basically all the time. Okay, a man who wants sons, and of course, when you really want someone to carry on, because he was a wrestler in life, but because he lacked income, he wasn't able to go for it himself, go for the gold internationally. So he gave up on his dream, but was expecting to have sons so he could do that. However, when you want something so badly, you're most likely never going to get it. He ended up having daughters. And on one day, his daughters got in a fight and beat up two boys. His two oldest daughters got in a fight and beat up two boys, and he was impressed and basically started training them. And the girls hated the training, but this is India, so they go to a wedding where at the wedding you see their friend. She's not happy. The bride, she's unhappy with her situation. She's unhappy she's getting married. And they're all excited, they're having fun, and then they are talking to her about how they hate their father. And when they hear what the bride says about her lot in life, the fact that her father doesn't care, her father just wants to get rid of the burden of having a daughter, wants to ship her off to somebody else, waited till she was 14 to marry her off. And it's just like, it impacts you, because here are two girls whose father is so obsessed with them that is training them like boys, but he cares. And it's just like one of those things that it's like, it impacts you. It's just like, yeah, you see it from that perspective. He's just being overly attentive to his daughters, overly attentive, basically training them like boys. Nothing wrong with that when I always love these kinds of movies where they're fighting against the way things are built, because here he was taking his daughters to wrestle in matches where there was only boys, because girls didn't wrestle. Girls, well, they did, but just not in those smaller villages. It had to be in a bigger city where they actually had a small group that was doing that. It's one of those movies that it's just like, you like it, and they start getting better and better and better and better, and then finally she wins nationals. The oldest daughter wins nationals and then goes on to international. But in order to do international, they need to go to the facility, and which means her father is no longer training her. And immediately you see a change of everything, because her father had her on a strict diet. Her father never allowed him to entertainment or things like that. I mean, that sounds very strict, but when you see her start doing that over and over and over and over again, she grows her hair out, just like she's lost all the training she has been taught. And yeah, and her father sees that, and her father actually get in a wrestling match, and it kind of breaks your heart, because it seems like here is an old man wrestling his daughter, and here she thinks she's great because she beat him in the match. And like, no, this is an old, elderly man. Most people his age would have grandchildren because they marry their daughters off at 14 to have children of their own. So it's just like one of those things like, yeah, this is basically what should be the equivalent of a grandpa in your society, and you've thrown him to the ground. There is no way you consider this a victory. No way whatsoever. That the movie impacts you. And then the younger daughter, the one who's been training as well, because apparently he had 4 daughters. The younger daughter, who's been training as well, ends up going to internationals as well, and immediately starts making the oldest daughter, Geeta, start feeling bad about it. Probably should have mentioned their names in the beginning. But yeah, Geeta starts to feel bad about it, and apparently she's the first gold medalist in India, at least for women's wrestling for sure. But yeah, and that's the thing, it's just like the coach she had didn't care. The coach she had for the international was just happy for them to place a medal. It was like, no, you don't want your nation to place a medal, you want your nation to go for the gold. If you're, that's the thing, when he went in was just, if you're the ones sponsoring the whole thing, if you're the ones hiring on the trainers, if you hear the trainer basically say all he wants them is to win a medal, you fire that trainer. You fire that trainer immediately. You hire someone, because that's what I thought was going to happen. The second they met the father, of the two girls and heard him talking about all he cared about was getting the gold for the country, getting the gold for the country. He did not care about placing any other medals. I thought they were gonna fire the other coach and hire him on the spot, but nope, that didn't happen. But yeah, it's one of those movies. I absolutely love this one. Far better than Sultan, that's for sure. Sultan was a piece of crap compared to this movie. And this movie has some historical backing. I mean, I like these historical pieces. They're always great. Yeah, especially in like in a country where women are always seen as, well, they always have one role, which is, you know, yeah, in a very Western society, it's very barbaric to think that way, but it's still a very commonplace around the world. So it always is nice to see those movies where it kind of breaks the boundaries, it breaks out of that, where you see them escaping. Not escaping, I mean, because some people actually enjoy that situation. Whatever I'm trying to say. I'm not, I like the movie. I really like the movie. It's definitely worth a watch. I think I saw it. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, I think. I could be wrong. I mean, when there are so many different platforms, I just watch these things. I don't know where I watch them anymore. Prime, Netflix, Hulu, Showtime, HBO. Oh my gosh, I have far too many. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Doodles!